Welcome back to W.P.M with Magz, aka Wolf Pussy Monologues podcast. Get ready for some shit and shenanigans from the CEO of the Unicorn Division, our leader of the Wolfden Pack, the maniac behind the mic, the one and only Magz. Broadcasting internationally from our lovely private studio in the city of Los Angeles. We thank each of our listeners around the globe for joining the shit show, and we sincerely hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Hey now, what up, what it is? How you feeling, how you living? Where my people's been? Welcome to another episode of W.P.M with Magz podcast. I'm your host, Magz, and today, we are talking about folks who shaped our childhoods, our minds, and honestly, sometimes our trauma too. Yes, we're going to get into the shits and shenanigans in the wolf den. Hope y'all had a great week. Hope you're feeling all right. And if you ain't guessed, I'm talking about them teachers. Yes, this episode is called Hey You, Teach. Because how many times did you want to yell that shit across the room when they was tripping? We're going to dive into it all today. We're going to talk about different teaching styles, displaced students, laziness in school, organization, teacher crushes, displaced teachers, passion versus paychecks, school security, disruptive learning environments, teachers having inappropriate contact with students. Damn it, we are talking about it all. And unsupervised classrooms. Yes, sit back, grab your drink. Let's get into it on this good old September series. Now let's start off with them different teaching styles. You remember those, don't ya? Because not all teachers are created equal. Some teach by the book, everything structured, notes, assignments, quizzes, tests. You know exactly what to expect. Honestly, some students love that shit. No surprises, straightforward, ABC. Let's just get it done. Shut the fuck up. Sit. Then you got the freestyle motherfuckers. They come in, sit on the damn desk, sip their coffee and shit, and then start telling you about their grandmama and their fucking kids, shit, fucking dog, or everything but what the fuck y'all goddamn syllabus is discussing that y'all supposed to be talking about. This motherfucker telling you about the vet trip and the camping trip and shit. You know what I'm saying? You like, wait, and why I can't tell this motherfucker shut the fuck up? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, hey, you, teach, motherfucker. Some students like that freedom, but others feel like they're missing out on the whole purpose of them getting up at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. It's not to hear about your punk ass grandmama. It's not. Y'all need to knock that fuck shit off. Time ain't for everybody. Hell. Then there's the project-based teachers who always got some fucking group project going on. And if you were an introvert or you just did not like group work because you're pretty much always kind of excelled, so everybody feels like you're going to do the write-up for the goddamn work, and they just, cut out shapes and color and glue. Fuck you. It's your worst fucking nightmare, right? But those projects teach you skills like teamwork, time management, and communication that, the test can't really do. Let's not forget the strict disciplinarian teachers who run their class like it's boot camp. You can't breathe too loud. You fart, you get detention. You know what I'm saying? Some kids respect that gangster. Others will rather go sit in the fucking office all fucking day. Finally, we got those hybrids. They mix structure with freedom, discipline with compassion. Those are the teachers you remember forever, I think, because they saw you as a human and not just a fucking grade. Can you dig it? It's underdug. Let's move on to the displaced students. Yeah, these are the students who have been moved around from school to school, maybe because of homelessness, foster care, family instability, or being kicked out for behavior issues. Imagine being that kid, right? Showing up to a new school, mid-trimester or semester, whatever Esther, not knowing nobody, teachers already labeling you as a problem before you open your fucking mouth. I remember a girl in my class who came in mid-year, right? She sat in the back quiet, never raised her hand. So the teachers treated her like she was fucking invisible. So one day, out of curiosity, I asked her, why you so quiet, man? She said, this the third school of this year. It doesn't even matter to me to speak anymore. That shit broke my goddamn heart. My little ass heart. It broke my fucking heart. Displaced students often fall behind because every school got different curriculums. Nobody takes time to catch them up, and their emotional stress gets ignored because everybody's focused on grades instead of the student as a human being. Bitches. Teachers, talking to y'all asses. If you got displaced students in your class, try to remember they fighting battles before they even sit down at your punk ass desk. A little extra patience, attention, and grace can keep them from giving up completely and being the reason why you become a statistic and be all on the fucking news. Think about it like that. Let's move on to that lazy shit and organization y'all got going on. Teach. Two things that show up real heavy in the classrooms. First of all, the student laziness. Sometimes kids just ain't motivated. They sleep in the class, don't turn in work, and teachers think they just lazy. But sometimes the motherfuckers is depressed. Sometimes they hungry because they didn't eat breakfast at home. Sometimes it's too stressful at home, taking care of siblings or dealing with parents fighting all fucking night. Sometimes it's truly not caring because they see no point in school when life itself feels so motherfucking hopeless. These are kids' thoughts, unfortunately. Yeah. Good job. Good job, pillars of the community. Good job, fucking, you know what I'm saying? The warriors and the button pushers and the excelled of the world, because this is how children feel. You undig me? Then there's teacher organization. When teachers are unorganized, students notice that shit. You ever had a teacher who loses your fucking homework? Forgets assignments they done gave you motherfuckers? Y'all done did this shit. This bitch looking at you like, what the fuck is you talking about? Changes due dates all random shit. Grades the paper all late but told you to turn it in early. You know what I'm saying? That fucks with a student's mind, motivation, all kind of shit. If the teacher themselves don't care enough to stay organized, why the fuck is the student gonna care to turn shit in on time or at all? It ain't just about binders and planners, motherfucker. You gotta show up prepared to guide the minds. Because education ain't just the content, it's how it's delivered. Teach. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a little light. Light heavy. Yeah, let's go a little light heavy. You know what I'm saying? Which one of y'all had a teacher crush growing up? You know what I'm saying? Which one of y'all had one of them crushes? Yeah, we just gonna switch real straight like that. Cause we heavy. We heavy in the wolf den. But we gon' yeah, that's how we doing it. But which one of y'all had a teacher crush? That one teacher that smelled good as hell, you like, ooh, what is that smell? Dressed nice all the time. Always had the hair done. All nice and shit. Gave you that smile when you got the answer right. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You sit in that class extra quiet, taking notes like you was in college shit. Or maybe you act a fool just trying to get their attention. You know, whatever worked. It's normal as a teen to admire your teacher. We spend more time with them than our own people sometimes, you know? And those small compliments feel big when you're a little insecure. But let's be real. A teacher crush is only cute when it stays innocent. Problem is when teachers cross that line back. And we gonna get into that shit later in this episode because this is a serious issue that's in schools today. I tell you what, yes it is. Now let's talk about them displaced teachers. We're just gonna flip it, rub it down, and run it back and talk about them. Because it's not just students getting shuffled around and shit. Some teachers get displaced due to budget cuts, school closures, or being low on the tenure list. Imagine teaching kids all year, building connections, watching them grow, and then, boom, all of a sudden, you forced to leave because the district shuffled staff to save money. That's fucking demoralizing. Teachers start holding back emotionally because why build bonds if you're going to be moved next semester? I've seen amazing teachers have to leave mid-year, crying because they felt like they were abandoning their kids. Displacement hurts everybody, the teacher, the students, and the overall vibe of the school. Can you dig it? Now, let's get into that passion versus paycheck. Now, here's a deep question for y'all. Are the teachers in it for the passion or for the paycheck? We all know teaching don't pay that much, especially for what they got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? But some teachers truly love that shit. They stay late, they tutor for free, they buy supplies with their own money, they treat students like their own fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the ones that's just there for the check. They roll in, sit at the desk, scrolling through their phone, throw on a movie, call it a fucking day. And of course, the students can tell the difference instantly. But on another note, some teachers start out with passion, and the system beats it out of them. Too much paperwork, low pay, lack of support, and constant disrespect from admin, parents, or students can kill the passion real quick. So, teachers, I want you to ask yourself, am I here for passion or paycheck? And if the paycheck ain't matching your worth, what's your exit plan to keep your peace and purpose alive? Can you dig that? Moving on to security and skills. Let's talk about school security. With all the school shootings, lockdown drills, violence, security has become a major fucking focus, right? Metal detectors, security guards, random searches, clear backpacks. That's normal shit now, unfortunately. But here's the thing about that. Too much security can feel like prison, okay? Nobody wants to feel like they're not free and they're supposed to be free. Students get anxiety walking through metal detectors every morning, having their bags searched like they criminals. But too little security, unfortunately, then the safety goes out the fucking window. Teachers and students deserve to be safe. Period. No one should go to school scared they won't come fuck back home. Okay? That's not a war zone. It's supposed to be a place of love and light. Shit. Okay? The real issue, you know what I'm saying, is why we even need so much security in schools today any fucking way. That's a conversation society keep avoiding because it's easier to add metal detectors than to address mental health, bullying, gun access, and motherfucking poverty. Bitches. We talking that shit and swallowing with spit in the whoop then. That's what we doing on this September series, okay? Moving on. Our next segment, disruptive learning environments. Okay? You ever tried to learn in a situation like that? Kids fighting, yelling, cussing out teachers, throwing shit, substitutes giving up 5 minutes in, teachers writing referrals like it's their full-time motherfucking job. Some students come to school ready to learn, but the environment blocks all the goodness that awaits them. They can't focus when the classmates are acting out each and every fucking period. You got 7 periods to go to, and motherfuckers is wilding out in every fucking one. Disruptive classrooms just don't hurt the teacher. They rob students who want better for themselves. And most times, the disruptive kids ain't just bad kids. They kids with trauma, anger, learning disabilities, or home issues no one is fucking addressing. Teachers need support staff, counselors, and real behavior intervention instead of just writing referrals and suspensions that don't fix the root of the fucking problem. Yeah. Next segment. Inappropriate teacher-student contact. Remember when I told you we was going to talk about this shit? Here it is. We talk about it now. This the heavy shit. Teachers have an inappropriate contact with students every year. There's a story of teachers getting arrested for sexual relationships with students. It's fucking disgusting. It's an abuse of power. It traumatizes kids forever, and it ruins their trust in education and authority. And it's not just male teachers. It's female teachers doing the shit too, thinking it's cute that they helping a student feel loved, and they're not numbers. They're entities, and they're in love. No, bitch, that's manipulation. It's statutory rape, and it ruins lives. Okay? Schools need stricter vetting, constant training, anonymous reporting systems, and real consequences. Because students should never have to worry about being preyed upon by the people trusted to protect and teach them. Okay? Like, never. I wouldn't give a fuck if nobody did nothing or said nothing until you turn 18, and then after you turn 18, then you want to take your old teacher out on a date that you had in 6th grade. It's still going to be weird as fuck, and you are looked at as a whole nother type of person when dealing with such students. Old and young. New and old. Fuck. Segment. Unsupervised classrooms. Let's talk about that shit. Teachers leaving students alone for long periods of time. Whether it's stepping outside to handle administrative stuff, to cover another class, because short staff and shit, or subs who just don't give a fuck. And then that's when the bullying starts and shit. Fights break out. Kids doing drugs or vaping in class. Cheating goes on and whatnot, And then here's the safety at risk. when it's an unsupervised classroom. But here's the bigger issue. Teachers are stressed so fucking thin they can't even use the bathroom without leaving the students alone. Schools need better coverage systems so teachers can be human without risking student safety. It's a bounce back. Bounce back? Today we covered a lot of shit. We did. Teaching styles, displaced students and teachers, laziness and organization, teacher crushes, passion versus paycheck, school security, disruptive classrooms, teachers crossing the lines, and unsupervised learning. We was in that thing today, wasn't we? Sure enough, teachers shape lives for better or for worse, and students carry those experiences on into adulthood. So if you're a teacher listening, ask yourself, why am I here? Am I serving my students with love, structure, and purpose? And if you're a student listening, know this. One teacher does not define your whole future, good or bad. Keep your power within because education is everywhere, not just in school. Thank y'all for tuning in once again to W.P.M with Magz podcast. This was called Hey You Teach, a real look in the classrooms from all angles. You know what I'm saying? Share this episode with a teacher, parent, or someone who needs to hear what really goes on behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? We're on Apple, Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? At W.P.M with Magz podcast, so you'll never miss an episode, baby. Until we meet again. Y'all stay safe, stay out the way, stay out the streets. Before we leave, gotta give you a heads up on next week. You know what I'm saying? Because next week we are talking about some deep shit once again. September series is a mug. It's a mug. Next week, suspended, expelled, incarcerated. The pipeline exposed. Y'all ain't ready for the shit and shenanigans got to roll about it here. I tell you what, y'all stay out them streets. As always, love, peace, and head grease. W.P.M with Magz. Out.